Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Steel City Sports Report, where we talk everything Steelers, Penguins, Pirates, and of course, Team USA Men's Olympic Ice Hockey. I am your host, Brady Vini, and here we go. This is what we have waited for to get to this point in the tournament. It is now win or go home, do or die time for all of the men's ice hockey teams. The quarterfinals today, already 3 games under our belt. The last one, the one that we will commentate and react live to tonight, Team Sweden versus Team USA. It is a matchup of 2 Titans, 2 of the 3 teams in this tournament featuring an all NHL roster, the only other team being Team Canada. We'll get to them here in a moment, but excited to get to talk about this one here this evening. And I hope that all of you aren't too hockeyed out for the day that we've already experienced here in men's Olympic ice hockey. Of course, it started off 6 a.m. Slovakia versus Germany, and Slovakia taking it to Germany in that game at 6-2 final in favor of the Slovaks. Pavel Regenda from the San Jose Sharks, he tallying 3 points in that performance. We then moved on to Canada versus Czechia, and throughout that game, wow, was it an electric factory. 4-3, Canada wins it in overtime. Mitch Marner, again, just like what he did last year at the Four Nations face-off against Team Sweden, he gets a big overtime goal for his home country. I'm sure that was exciting, very much so for Marner. And shout out to Czechia, by the way. They lost 5-0 to Canada in the preliminary rounds. They went out there today and they gave Canada a run for their money, showed that the big bad giant in the hockey world, they can be mortal. And it goes back to that, what is it, from the movie Predator, the whole Arnold Schwarzenegger thing, if it bleeds, we can kill it. Well, definitely Team Canada, they showed a little bit of bleeding today that they can be beaten. And I don't even mean that. I just meant by their style of play when I said that. I did not mean what unfortunately we're going to shift things from my Team USA fandom here and wanting Canada to lose over to my Pittsburgh Penguins fandom. Very unfortunate, and it downright makes us infuriated Penguins fans. Sidney Crosby clearly targeted in the game today by Czechia. He was hit by Andre Palat with the puck nowhere near him. That was a clear interference penalty. Did not get called. Just a blatant miscall right there. Then Radko Gudas, former Philadelphia Flyer, he then delivers a hard hit to Sid in the neutral zone. I guess Sid tried to duck out of the way, ended up catching his right leg underneath himself a little bit. So the worry is now with Sid. He left the game after that shift in which he took 3 separate hits, went down the tunnel back to the Canadian locker room using his stick as sort of a crutch. The biggest worry now with Sid is that an MCL injury, hopefully it's nothing, any sort of major knee injury, because he is a very key part still at 38 years old to the Pittsburgh Penguins, and you would hate for him to go down for not only the rest of this tournament, but for an extended period of time when NHL hockey resumes. Gudas said he was trying to finish his check, hopes that Sid is all right. John Cooper said he didn't have any sort of update after the game on Crosby, said that he felt Sid was in no position to help Team Canada for the rest of the night, and that Crosby's status moving forward into the semifinals will be undetermined right now. Cool thing is, John Cooper, his message to the team in the locker room after Sid's injury, this will not be Sidney Crosby's last game at the Olympics. I certainly hope so, because yikes, that injury. Very, very scary. But we'll get to that here at a different time when we do our next normal live stream of the Steel City Sports Report. Very unfortunate. On to today, though. Well, actually, one more game just wrapped up on the TV here to my right about half an hour ago. Finland and Slovakia. Finland and Switzerland. They went to overtime as well. It was Arturi Lehkonen of the Colorado Avalanche getting the OT winner in that one. Finland rallying from a 2-0 deficit in the final 6 minutes of that game to win. So that brings us here to today's game. Team USA versus Team Sweden. And this game has a ton of storylines heading into it. 2 of the top teams before the tournament even started meeting. It's actually shocking that they're meeting in the quarterfinals instead of like a semifinal matchup. But hey, here we are. So Sweden versus USA, and tons of head-to-head matchups between current teammates, former teammates, current players versus their old coaches. Just tons and tons of matchups in terms of, friends turned to foe on the other side of the ledger here. For the Boston Bruins, Team USA, sporting Charlie McAvoy and Jeremy Swayman, they will go up against Hampus Lindholm and Elias Pettersson. Buffalo, Tage Thompson versus Rasmus Dahlin. Colorado Avalanche, Brock Nelson versus his captain, Gabe Landeskog. Detroit Red Wings, Lucas Raymond for Sweden going against his captain, Dylan Larkin for Team USA. Florida, Matthew Tkachuk. He will be going up against one of his top defensive buddies from Florida in Gustav Forsling. Minnesota, they have a ton of connections in this game. For Team USA, you have Quinn Hughes, who they acquired in a trade earlier this year, Brock Faber, and Matt Boldy. They will be going up against Joel Eriksson Ek, Jonas Johansson, who won't play in this one. Neither will Philip Gustafsson and Jesper Wallstedt. And then also Bill Guerin and I believe the Minnesota Wild head coach. I still think it's John Hines. They are on the Team USA staff as well. Jack Hughes versus Jesper Bratt, his line mate, and Jacob Markstrom, who gets the start, I believe, for Sweden today. JT Miller, Vinny Trocheck versus Mika Zibanejad. Jake Gensel versus Victor Hedman, Pontus Holmberg. Austin Matthews versus William Nylander and Oliver Ekman-Larsson. Jack Eichel and Noah Hannafin for Team USA going up against their newest teammate in addition to the Knights, Rasmus Anderson. But personally, I just went through at least most of those teammates versus teammates matchups in this game because there is a ton of them. Probably my favorite, to be quite honest. Going to stick with a Penguins team here. Erik Karlsson and Rickard Rakell versus their old head coach, Mike Sullivan. Now, I don't know if there's any sort of bad blood between Rickard Rakell and Mike Sullivan, but I will say Erik Karlsson, very vocal and pleasing in his before the NHL regular season comments, saying it's nice to have a coach that lets you be yourself and not trying to fit a specific mold. So Erik Karlsson, before the NHL season started, taking a little bit of shots at his old head coach, Mike Sullivan. He will have his chance to get some revenge on Sullivan here tonight. On to the lineups for both of these teams. For Team USA, unsurprisingly, there are no changes. The Americans, they will once again go back to Connor Hellebuck in between the pipes. He has been absolutely solid throughout these Olympics thus far in the 2 games he's played. Jake Ottinger of the Dallas Stars has not seen any Olympic action thus far in the tournament. He will be the backup. The lines, they stay the same. The Jack Eichel centering the Tkachuk brothers line remains intact. Austin Matthews again with Jake Gensel and Matt Boldy. Dylan Larkin, Tage Thompson, and Clayton Keller. That is probably my sneaky line to look out for in this game for Team USA. I really like that combination right there. The fourth line, Brock Nelson, JT Miller, Jack Hughes, Vincent Trocheck will rotate in as the 13th forward. Defense, Quinn Hughes with Charlie McAvoy, Jacob Slavin, the veteran, with the youngster Brock Faber. Zach Werenski and Jake Sanderson is the third pairing. Noah Hannafin will rotate in. For Sweden, however, they do have a little bit of change. Of course, they will remain with Jacob Markstrom in net. This will be the second elimination game in his many nights for Sweden. I believe they started the tournament with Philip Gustafsson, and then they went to Markstrom a little bit later on in the preliminary round. He has been solid for them. Jesper Bratt, after sitting out last game for Sweden, he will be back in there as their 13th forward for the veteran Marcus Johansson, Rasmus Anderson, and Philip Gustafsson. They remain healthy scratches along with Johansson. The lineup for Sweden, don't know how up to the moment these line combinations are for the Swedes. Joel Eriksson Ek, Adrian Kempe, William Nylander, their top line, probably their best line thus far for Sweden. Mika Zibanejad, Lucas Raymond, and Gabriel Landeskog. That is their second line. Landeskog, the captain of Team Sweden. Philip Forsberg, Elias Pettersson, Rickard Rakell, the third line. Pontus Holmberg, Alex Wenberg, and Elias Lindholm, the fourth, with Jesper Bratt as the 13th forward. The defense pairings, Gustav Forsling with Rasmus Dahlin, Philip Broberg with the Penguin, Erik Karlsson, Victor Hedman, and Oliver Ekman-Larsson, Hampus Lindholm. He will be the 7th D-man dressed here tonight. We should be in for a good game. Going to be very, very truthful here. Beginning of the tournament here, seeing how both of these teams played off the hop, you were wondering, all right, it seems like they aren't going to be what they were back at the Four Nations face-off. The USA, they were winning, but they did have a few sketchy moments. Latvia, they hung around with the U.S. for a little bit in the first preliminary game. Denmark, they made it a game with the U.S. Back on Saturday, I believe. The Germany game was pretty much the best game that the United States played. As for Sweden, they, of course, lost to Finland in the preliminary round. They were able, I believe they were able to beat Switzerland and maybe another team. But Sweden, they were not looking anywhere close to a team that was fielding an all NHL roster. I guess you could say they hit their stride at the right moment. Their play-in game yesterday in the quarterfinal round, it was their most dominating game of this playoff tournament so far for the Olympics. So Sweden, they seem to be figuring it out in real time. The U.S., I hope that they were able to wash off any of the stench they've had from previous performances, and we should be in for, I won't say the best game on the ledger today. That right now belongs to Czechia and Canada, but if it's anything like that or like the Finland-Switzerland game, we should be in for one hell of a time here on the channel here today. And we are getting ready to drop the puck, I believe, for the men's ice hockey tournament. Let me see here what's going on with that. They were showing, I believe, speed skating still just a moment ago. Let's see now if we can get this going here on the channel. On the TV, I should say, here to my right. Sweden, Team USA, who's going to move on. I believe the way the format here is that Team USA win would put them versus Slovakia. It would then be Canada versus Finland, or it would be with a Sweden win, Canada and Sweden, Slovakia and Finland. And we are underway, ladies and gentlemen, here. The TV cutting over now. USA and Sweden. Already a minute into play here. They're popping up the lines at the top of the screen here for Sweden. Already pressure in the American zone here for the Swedes. Mika Zibanejad behind the net. Out in front, Gabe Landeskog. A drive goes wide to the right of the net, and it'll go all the way back down to Swedish territory. Jacob Markstrom out to stop it there for his D-man, Gustav Forsling. It's going to be sent up ice here, tipped in. I believe that is Ricard Raquel. Philip Forsberg in on the forecheck, knocks the helmet off of Jake Sanderson. Sanderson maybe shook up a little bit. He will have to head off the ice here. Now back in the Sweden zone. Zach Werenski stepping down in. His shot attempt on net, I believe, was blocked there by Elias Pettersson of the Vancouver Canucks. Tons of former Vancouver Canucks connections in this game as well. Up high, Quinn Hughes with it. Pass over. Moving down, looks like Clayton Keller. Back up high, Werenski. Over to Quinn Hughes again. He comes back up near the point. Werenski now turning to shoot. And boy, that one almost snuck in there on Markstrom. He had to fight that one off right there against Quinn Hughes on that shot. Might have caught him off guard a little bit. Hughes back in his own territory here. He's now going to move it up ice here. It's going to be dumped in, tipped on the way by JT Miller. Markstrom up the boards. Miller is going to send it behind the net here. Jack Hughes, good start to the tournament for him. He has been a lightning rod for Team USA. His pass attempt for McAvoy deflects back out to center. Hughes regathers. A pass for Brock Nelson, a little off the mark. Erik Karlsson takes over for Sweden. Up the boards here, Sweden able to get the puck back out to center quickly, but there's Quinn Hughes again. Tipped in here by JT Miller, the United States. We'll head off for a change here. On comes the Eichel and Kachuk brother line once again. Brady having an excellent start to the Olympics as well. Jack Eichel scoring a big goal a game ago. Brady with a breakout pass here out of his own zone to Eichel. Eichel up the middle. Eichel inside out on Adrian Kempe. Back in front. Noah Hannafin, a backhander, and it's going to be stopped and held onto by Markstrom, but we are going to have a penalty here. I believe Matthew Tkachuk had his stick slashed out of his hands, and Sweden, they are going to go and sit in the box here to begin this hockey game. Not sure who exactly it is that's going to get the penalty here for Sweden, but we're going to get a first look here of the day for this excellent USA power play. I think they scored 2 or 3 goals in the preliminary round. Not as dangerous as I would say Canada's would be when they're at full strength, but Quinn Hughes, Matthew Tkachuk, Austin Matthews, Jack Eichel, Tage Thompson out there now. The killers for Sweden. It was won there by Elias Lindholm. He and Alex Wennberg, the forwards out there for Sweden. Stepping down here after a clear attempt by Sweden. Quinn Hughes back up high. Eichel switches with Hughes. Eichel now in. Pass over, was looking for Matthew Tkachuk on the back door. Great read of that play by Wennberg. Now in the slot. Austin Matthews a shot, and it might have gone off the post. It was taking a chunk out of it by Markstrom. Might have grazed iron, too. Already 4 minutes gone in this hockey game. 1:20 left on the U.S. power play. Matthew down the boards, back up high to Quinn Hughes. Hughes working to the middle. Pass over Austin Matthews. Down low, Tkachuk looking for Tage Thompson in that bumper position, but he was all tied up with someone. Puck goes all the way back down to the U.S. zone, and the second unit's going to work its way onto the ice. Werenski pass up the ice to Jack Hughes. Brady plays it back to Jack. Hughes in the slot. And that one was over the stick of Matt Boldy, picked up again by Sweden behind their own net and cleared all the way down on goal. Hellebuck will play it. 40 seconds now remaining. Werenski up here to Boldy again. Pass over. Brady Tkachuk. His shot. Pad save made by Markstrom. Taken by Elias Lindholm. He'll kill a little bit of time before sending it down. Once again, the U.S. getting a couple quick shots off the rush here, but unable this second unit is to get set up properly. Jack Hughes back into the zone, knifing his way through the defense. His shot just wide of the net, and this is going to be slapped down again, but it's going to go off of someone and into the stands out of play. So I think there might be a little bit of time still on this man advantage for Team USA, but not a whole lot. Going to be looking for Sweden to get back even here in a matter of seconds. Look there again at the U.S. power play and how they've done throughout all these games in the preliminary round thus far. The first unit for Team USA, I think back on here, slap shot bomb from Zach Werenski, clear line of sight of it. Markstrom had. Set now takes the power play for the United States with. And now takes the power play for the United States from 14 seconds down to 6. And now taking the power play. And now that face-off is going to be won by Sweden and cleared again. 14:30 now left to go here in the first. 6-0, the shots in this game in favor of the United States to start. Philip Broberg up ice here. Eriksson Ek couldn't dump it in deep. Adrian Kempe punched it along. Now we got some wrestling in front of the U.S. bench. Looks like that might have been, I think, maybe Brock Nelson and Eriksson Ek. Erik Karlsson leading the rush here for Sweden. His shot attempt goes off the side of the cage. William Nylander sent down to the ice. JT Miller, end of a shift. He'll dump it in softly and head off for a change. Already 6 minutes plus passing by in this game. Rasmus Dahlin, a drop pass. This is Gabe Landeskog moving in. Circles behind the net. Landeskog up high. Lucas Raymond, his shot through the legs of Tage Thompson, stopped with a blocker by Hellebuck. And now back the other way. Tage Thompson It's going to chase after the puck. Lucas Raymond fell down for a moment. If that puck is catchable for Thompson, he's off on a 2-on-1. Back in the Sweden zone, they break out. Here's Gustav Forsling leading the charge up ice. He'll dump it in. Knocked down off the glass by Hellebuck. Thompson. He'll sky this one out to the Swedish blue line. Clayton Keller couldn't handle it. Now, here's Landeskog back in. His shot attempt from the slot cutting in went wide off a stick. Up high, Ekman Larson. Down low, Ricard Raquel behind the net, pinned up against the boards by Jake Sanderson. Now, Raquel gets it again. Shot from the face-off dot there by Elias Pettersson. Stopped another one from Pettersson, standing still right at that right face-off dot. Again, Hellebuck made the save. Pass over from Lindholm, or Pettersson looking for Philip Forsberg. Couldn't connect, and Sweden, with that errant pass, goes back down to their own territory. Now Forsberg over to Lindholm. Trying to chip it along was Elias Lindholm. Lindholm to Lindholm there. Hampus to Elias. Puck is going to be deflected into the Swedish zone here by the U.S. Gensel, Matthews, and Boldy come back on the ice. Puck down in the U.S. zone. Noah Hannafin picks it up there. Hannafin rubbed off against the boards there by Pontus Holmberg. Erik Karlsson couldn't keep it in the zone, but it's taken over by the U.S. Brady Tkachuk, a dump in. Holmberg recovers. Send up here. 1-on-2 here. Looks like Alex Wenberg is waiting for some help. Wenberg slammed up against the boards there by McAvoy. Kicks it back now up to his D-man. Pass over. Karlsson, his shot towards the net. Pad save made by Hellebuck. Screen in front by Pontus Holmberg, but Hellebuck, good positioning, had it hit him. Dumped in here by Wenberg. Back to poke it along. Charlie McAvoy. Quinn Hughes now out there with him. Brady Tkachuk with time in his own zone. He's going to send it back to Quinn Hughes here. Full sail change for both of these teams now. Jack Eichel wheels in front of Quinn Hughes. Pass over. Fanning on the dump-in attempt. Looks like it might have been JT Miller, the fourth line now on for the U.S. Rasmus Dahlin is going to send it up the boards here. There's Gustav Forsling, Gabe Landeskog dumps it behind the net. Takes a hard hit. JT Miller, Brock Faber out there. He's trying to fight it away from Landeskog. Landeskog turns back. Sends it up high. Ekman Larson walking the line. Now here stepping down, it's Lindholm. His shot towards the front might have hit a body, but Hellebuck, good positioning again, made the stop. Ekman Larson now out in neutral zone. It's Brock Nelson rocking the face shield today. He's swapping with Charlie McAvoy. Jack Hughes, his clearing attempt, grabbed out of the air by Forsberg. Forsberg sends it behind the net. Lucas Raymond and Sanderson battle for it. Picked up by Forsberg again. He now loses his balance and goes down. Clayton Keller with the pressure. Again, this battle still in the corner here to the left of Hellebuck. Comes all the way up the boards now, and Jack Hughes finally alleviates the pressure with a dump in. But Sweden looking to get back on the attack immediately. Broberg, cross-quarter dump. Raquel after it. Loses that foot race. Now here's Dylan Larkin. He's got wheels. He flies in a shot snared out of the air with the glove by Jacob Markstrom. And already off to a good start in this hockey game. Team USA versus Sweden. It seems like Sweden with the upper hand early, despite them going on an early penalty kill. They killed it off with flying colors. And now the United States needing to figure out some things here 5-on-5. We shall see. They can get things going here a little. Getting a look there at one of the women for Team USA. Looks like they're getting ready, practicing now for their gold medal game coming up tomorrow against Team Canada. Good luck to Team USA in the women's hockey division. Getting a picture commercial break here. Now we have time here after the pregame intro and getting the game to come on. If you are new here to the channel, on your way in, please hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications so that you never miss a thing here on the channel. Again, like this live stream, share this live stream. In the comment section, please leave a comment, your thoughts, opinions, questions, reactions to this game in real time, just like me. Get in there how you are feeling about Team USA heading into this matchup and moving forward should they advance. Trying to secure a date with Slovakia is the U.S. Take a look at their coaching staff. Sullivan, Tortorella, John Hines, 3 very experienced NHL head coaches right there. Tortorella right now, I believe, doing some TV work for ESPN in their hockey coverage. Sullivan with the New York Rangers, an old team coached by Tortorella, not having the bestest of starts to his tenure there. Hopefully, Team USA positive Olympic run here will straighten him out a little bit. Face-off is going to be down in the Swedish zone here. It'll be Eichel on the draw against Zibanejad. And it's a draw towards the boards, but Eichel now gets it back up high to Hughes. Pass over. McAvoy moving down. McAvoy looking. Eichel back door, and oh my goodness. What a glove save there by Jacob Markstrom. He was sliding, may have overslid to his right just a little bit. Eichel had the top right corner open, and then Markstrom, even though he was a little out of position, was able to reach back and snare it and keep this at a 0-0 hockey game. 9:39 left in the first. Shots are now 8-6 in favor of the U.S. Sweden closing the gap after a 6-0 U.S. start. Nifty move there in the neutral zone by Zibanejad, poking it through the legs of Matthew Tkachuk. And now Tkachuk gets it back to Eichel. Dropper for Brady Tkachuk. Pass across the zone. Quinn Hughes tried to hit Eichel on the back door. Great stick there by Erik Karlsson to prevent that pass. Now Karlsson looking to help offensively. His shot in on Hellebuck. It's going to be sticked aside into the corner. And now there's a massive hit behind the net. Charlie McAvoy just rocked someone. Not sure who. That might have been Joel Eriksson Ek. Thunderous hit there from the Mack truck. McAvoy. It's going to be icing here, I think, on the U.S., but message sent there by McAvoy. Head down behind the net looking for the puck for Eriksson Ek, and McAvoy making sure he paid for that no-no. One of those heart and soul guys for this Team USA club. McAvoy. Same thing for Brady Tkachuk, guys that you know you are not going to need to drag into the fight. Instead, they are the guys that drag you into the fight every night. Face off here to the left of Hellebuck was trying to get the clear up the boards there for Jake Slavin, but it's kept in. Behind the net now. William Nylander pinned up against the glass by Brock Faber. Adrian Kempe comes loose with it. Tried to send it back to Nylander down low, but Slavin will send it all the way back down to Swedish territory here, and it's going to be another icing for the United States. 8:33 left to go. Look at the boards there, too, at these Olympics. Really a dark blue color to begin in the preliminary rounds. They changed it to a lighter blue and green for the rest of the tournament here. Those boards complained about a ton by the players, and then especially by USA goaltender Jeremy Swayman, who allowed a goal in from center ice due to the board color. Back into the Swedish zone here now as play resumes. Team USA thrown to the front by Slavin, but nobody home there. Maybe a chance for a 3-on-2 the other way for Sweden. Philip Forsberg tried to make a pass. He'll just lob it behind the net now. Ricard Raquel back up high. Walking the line, Rasmus Dahlin. Now he turns and shoots. That was blocked on the way through by Austin Matthews. And he'll now finally lightly flick it back out to Swedish ice. It's not going to be icing. The U.S. a chance to get fresh troops on the ice. It's the Larkin line that comes on. Stretch pass here by Gustav Forsling. Intended for Kempe was a little wide. Now, Sweden, loose puck in the U.S. zone, trying to get it out of the zone here. Up comes Jake Sanderson with it. Sanderson chipping and chasing his own dump in there as a defenseman. Bringing it back up high and now spun back deep. It's Dylan Larkin. Behind the net, Clayton Keller pursues. Sweden trying to clear it, kept in by Sanderson, and this is going to be a hand pass here on Team USA, maybe. No, now they're going to say we play on. Sweden touches it. Puck pinned up against the glass there. Tage Thompson had Alex Wemberg, and now it comes loose on the far side. Dumping and chasing. Gabe Landeskog poked off the puck now. Larkin. Another skyward pass out to center. It seems like any time there is pressure for these two teams, as Lucas Raymond had a half breakaway right there, and he was able to get a shot off on Hellebuck. Good stop there by Helly. Seems like every single time there is the slightest bit of pressure for either of these teams, we are going to be taking the skyward clear out of the zone and live to fight another day. Another look at the commercial break right there on the commercial break here. Another look at Raymond's opportunity. Bad change by the U.S. Looks like 3 or 4 of the guys on the ice all went off at the same time, and that's what allowed that stretch pass up ice by, I believe, Hampus Lindholm. Now we're showing highlights of the other game going on today. NBC is showing. Good game from Czechia and Canada. Czechia keeping that game close. They even had a lead over Canada heading into the first period. That was the first time that Canada has trailed in an Olympic hockey game since 2010. I think with NHL players, of course. First time since an NHL rostered Team Canada trailed in a game. Going all the way back to the Sidney Crosby golden goal at Vancouver 2010. Also look at Macklin Celebrini. He has been the breakout star, the 19-year-old for Canada. Has, I believe, 9 points already in this tournament. 5 goals, 4 assists for Celebrini. He already within 6 points of Sidney Crosby's record that he just broke for most points with Team Canada when NHL players play. Hopefully Crosby's all right again. Having fun watching Team USA. Hope they go all the way and hope that they ultimately prove themselves by beating Canada. But it coming at the expense of Sidney Crosby getting injured, that really hurts the Penguin fan inside of me. Face off to the left of Hellebuck again. Quinn Hughes getting pressured here back behind the net by Adrian Kempe, and Hughes what looked to be a clean chance at a breakout for Team USA all of a sudden turns into a turnover. Now Sweden a dump in. This is going to be played along behind the net by Connor Hellebuck with Mika Zibanejad flying in. Now back out at center, Dylan Larkin comes into the zone. Drop pass here for Quinn Hughes. His shot goes off of the side of the net. Near scoring chance there for Quinn Hughes, trying to throw it in off the body of Markstrom. Back out at center there. There's the heavy hit again. Was that Charlie McAvoy part 2? McAvoy making someone feel a world of hurt in front of the U.S. bench. Now this pass up ice from Quinn Hughes. It's going to be tapped in. Jack Eichel on the forecheck. Hard check on Oliver Ekman-Larsson. The U.S. out at center gain possession again, but they dump it in once more. Ekman-Larsson now. With time, hits William Nylander. Nylander meeting Matthew Tkachuk out at center. It's a turnover. Now pass up here. Brady Tkachuk. Now over. I believe that's Noah Hannafin joining the rush. He almost had a chance to get a shot off, but puck rolled off his stick. Cleared back out to center by Sweden. 5:25 left to go in the first period of play. Dumped in by the United States again. Shots at even right now. 8 apiece. It's going to be brought ahead here by Elias Pettersson for Rasmus Dahlin. Dahlin going to send it behind the net. Back to Dahlin now from the corner. Looking to throw something on net there. Instead, Raquel behind the net. Now Pettersson up high to Dahlin. Was winding up for a slap shot. He'll give it back to Pettersson. Pettersson in the corner trying to shake his way free of, I believe that is Austin Matthews, but Matthews, for a brief second, was able to strip him of the puck. Now a shot from Sweden. Dahlin from the point. Not sure if Hellebuck got a piece of it or if it went wide off a body. Brought ahead here by the fresh legs of Jake Sanderson. Sidesteps a hip check attempt out at center ice, and his dumping goes on net, thankfully, so there's no icing. 4:30 left to go in the first. Gustav Forsling from behind his own net. Pass ahead. It's going to be tapped in here by Holmberg. And on the forecheck now, Elias Lindholm. Up the boards now, U.S. trying to break it out. Pass to the center by Brady Tkachuk. Went off of a Swedish stick. Was nearly a turnover, but now the U.S. can get a breakout. Tage Thompson to Clayton Keller. Keller ahead. His shot went well wide of the net. Dylan Larkin put it behind the net again. Keller. Tage Thompson up against the boards. Stick breaks here for, I believe that is Erik Karlsson. So right now, looks like a Sweden player handed Karlsson his stick and went off for a new twig. Turnover here in the neutral zone by the U.S. Holmberg back to Karlsson with a fresh piece of lumber. Up here, Holmberg again. He'll dump it in and head off for a change. 3:20 now left to go in the first. Jack Hughes through center. Across the blue line now. Hughes down the boards. Going to circle behind the net. Hughes up high, looking in the high slot for JT Miller. Now a wind and a blast from Slavin. Might have hit Hampus Lindholm, or Markstrom made the stop. Trying to get it back in the corner now is Slavin, but the puck goes over the head of JT Miller and back out to center. Ricard Raquel picks it up there. His shot goes wide of the net. Lucas Raymond trying to feed Mika Zibanejad. It's a turnover. Brock Nelson bringing it into the U.S. zone. Takes a hard hit. Hampus Lindholm trying to deliver the boom. Nelson equal to the challenge. Rasmus Dahlin, puck poked away from him in the U.S. zone. Turnover. Jack Hughes in. Wind and a blast, and it's a save made by Jacob Markstrom. Near turnover. In fact, it was a turnover at the blue line for Rasmus Dahlin. Jack Hughes didn't have much time off the turnover. Delivered a slap shot, but Markstrom out on top of the blue paint, able to make the stop. Another commercial break here. Probably will be the last one of this first period of play. 8 of you in here. Welcome to the live stream. Hoping to be a good conduit to you for what the action is going on over in Milan Cortina, Italy, for Team USA versus Sweden in the men's ice hockey quarterfinals. Live reactions and commentary going on right here. To the comment section we go. Longtime viewer here on the channel, Thomas Dowdy. Welcome, Thomas. What is going on? Any word on the injury of Sidney Crosby? We talked about that, Thomas, at the top of the show. Of course, you know, star player in the National Hockey League, still Crosby. He is going to be a highly talked about figure in his injury. We do not know anything on the severity of his injury. Looking at the still picture that is making the rounds on the internet right now, and the beating he took on the shift, took 3 hits in one shift. The second one from Gudis seemed to be the one that hurt him. We're hoping right now it's nothing serious. It does look like a knee injury, even though they in hockey just put it as very vaguely a lower body injury. Seen posts on Twitter and stuff from doctors saying, you know, hopefully not. It looks like it could be MCL damage. Hopefully that is not the case. John Cooper, head coach for Canada, he had no update after the game, but likely looking at that injury, Sid not being able to put all that much weight on it on his way off the ice. Doesn't seem like he is going to be playing anymore in this Olympic tournament. So thoughts and prayers for Sid. I mean, that probably will be a very, very rotten way to end your most likely last Winter Olympic Games. But hopefully it's not anything significant to where he will be missing a massive amount of time when it comes back to playing for the Pittsburgh Penguins. Play resumes here, and a massive collision there. Looks like there was a collision between Matthew Tkachuk and William Nylander. Now back in the USA zone. Play was coming up into the Swedish zone. We have the net off for Connor Hellebuyck. And Hellebuyck there a moment ago. How did this go off the net? His made a save up against the post. And I guess there was some jousting between Quinn Hughes and someone for Sweden. That knocked the net off its moorings. And then right there was Jack Eichel and William Nylander, a collision back in the U.S. zone. Nothing intentional or worth penalizing for either man right there. It's like Snoop Dogg is in the building there in Italy watching this game, as is Simone Biles. So the U.S. represented well, popularity-wise. This is going to be a face-off out at the neutral zone, just outside the Swedish zone, dumped in by the U.S., but Sweden will quickly shoot it back down towards Connor Hellebuyck. It'll be an icing. 2:10 left to go here in the first period of play. You got the U.S. and Sweden the shots now after the U.S. got out to a 6-0 lead in the shot department. It's almost even, 10-9 in favor of the United States. Eriksson Ek against Austin Matthews on the face-off to the right of Jacob Markstrom. False drop by the referee. Again here, trying to get both men to cooperate. Face-off is won by Eriksson Ek. Gustav Forsling, bang pass out to center. William Nylander, dropper there for Adrian Kempe, close to being offsides. Nylander over, Dahlin, a shot, pad save made by Hellebuyck. In the corner now, Dahlin trying to chip it past Dahlin. Austin Matthews, it gets out to center, but Sweden brings it back in. Sauce pass for Eriksson Ek, his shot wide of the net. Quinn Hughes now will lightly tap it out to center, in the U.S. trying to get some guys off the ice on a change. Erik Karlsson waits for Team Sweden to do the same. Now Philip Forsberg. Looks like Dylan Larkin stepped on him out at center. And Tage Thompson trying to fight for the puck. Vinny Trocheck out there, his second shift of the hockey game, I believe. Dumped in by Trocheck. Larkin in the corner, trying to fend off Erik Karlsson. He does so successfully. Larkin back up the boards here, waiting for someone to open up here. Pass down low, stepping down from the point. Faber trying to catch up to the pass. Back up high. Kept in the zone by Slavin. Down low, Trocheck, centering pass, might have hit the back of the net. Looking for Faber out in front. Faber now, a hit on Elias Pettersson, gives USA control again. In the corner, Tage Thompson is able to pin Philip Broberg against the glass, but bad news is he didn't have the puck anymore. 35 seconds now left in the period. Karlsson and Sweden trying to get one last rush here, but a pass too far in front of Philip Forsberg from Karlsson misses him, and it's going to be an icing. That could be big here for the United States. You have 33 seconds, I believe, left here in the first period. You're going to have a little bit of tired bodies out there for Sweden, and the U.S. sends on the Eichel and Tkachuk brother line. Looks like Werenski, I believe, is one of the D-man here. Face-off is going to be won by Gabe Landeskog back in the Swedish zone, so Sweden able to clear it down ice again. Hellebuyck on net, plays it off. Werenski pass up the ice. Now Brady Tkachuk trying to spin one ahead for Eichel. Turnover. 15 seconds now left. Mika Zibanejad fighting his way to the corner. Tkachuk back with it. Up the boards to his brother Matthew. Lucas Raymond forces one on net. Easy stick save made there by Hellebuyck. Eichel now. Pass across the ice here to Brady Tkachuk, to Eichel again, but the period has expired. Maybe if the U.S. had about 5 more seconds there, Jack Eichel could have had a nice opportunity of getting a shot off on goal. So that is how we do in the first period of play. 0-0 after 1 between the U.S. and Sweden. Chances for both teams. A look at the power play for the United States didn't show anything too fruitful there. But zip after 1. It's going to be expected to be that way throughout the game here. Not necessarily a 0-0 score, but it's going to be close. And just like 2 of the 3 other games so far today, might come down to the wire here between the U.S. and Sweden. With that, we head into the first intermission break of the live stream here today. We'll get to your comments here a little bit after this short break for intermission. We'll be back just before the start of the second period of play. After one, Sweden, nothing, USA, nothing. 8 of you in here, please subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications so that you do not miss a thing. Like, share, leave a comment, your thoughts on the first and predictions for the second and third period of play. Get those in the comments section now. Back here in a moment, USA and Sweden scoreless after 20 minutes. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I believe the second period of play between the United States and Sweden is right around the corner. What an entertaining first period that was, even though it had zero scoring in it. Nothing after 20 minutes down, 40 minutes to play in the quarterfinals of the men's Olympic ice hockey tournament. Team USA looking to move on and have a date with, I believe, Slovakia on Friday. That is what they are aiming for. Should Sweden come out victors in this one, they will go on to take the juggernaut powerhouse Team Canada, even though Canada looked a bit mortal here today. I believe it was Concepts right before break asking if there was any update on the injury of Sidney Crosby. We do have an update on Sid that I saw during that first intermission. It is not an update on specifically what his injury is, but according to Emily Kaplan and all the other NHL insiders out there, Crosby will undergo imaging in Milan, Italy, to determine the severity of his lower body injury. Head coach of Team Canada, John Cooper, said that he does not have any update on Crosby. He said, I don't even have my poker face on either because I honestly don't know what it is. So nobody knows what Sid's injury is. Hopefully these images reveal what it is, and hopefully it is nothing too severe. I believe it was Tyler Kennedy, one of Sidney Crosby's old teammates with the Pittsburgh Penguins. He put out there on 93.7 The Fan this afternoon, the local Pittsburgh sports radio station. He said he believes Crosby did indeed suffer an MCL injury and will miss the rest of the Olympic tournament, but Kennedy hopeful that it won't mean any long-term absence for the Pittsburgh Penguins. So hopefully that is the case. I mean, rotten way for Sid and his final Olympics to end, but hopefully it is all going to be good here for Sid. Back to the comment section. Some other things going on in the comment section for you guys. Thomas Dowdy here. Hopefully USA wins so we can get Erik Karlsson and Rickard Rakell back sooner. After seeing Crosby go down today, I wouldn't, as much as I want them to have success, I do, honest to God, Erik Karlsson, Rickard Rakell. Hell, who knows? This might even be Erik Karlsson's final Olympics as well. Hoping that they make it healthy, because losing Sid in these Olympic games, it's already bad enough. If you were to lose one of Rakell or Crosby, then or Rakell or Karlsson, then I mean, hey, you're looking at being down your captain and maybe the other another member of your top line or your top defenseman. So hoping that they are going to be okay. If it is a season-ending injury, what does that mean for the Penguins in the trade deadline? If it means anything, first off, praying, hoping. I don't think it's going to be a season ender for Crosby. At most, I'm hoping for Crosby that the injury would be, maybe if it's worse comes to worse, it's something he comes back from when the playoffs begin. But I don't see the Penguins, if Crosby were to go down long term, making any massive addition here. I mean, they do have the draft capital and prospects to take a big swing here, but I believe you're just going to see in that instance Evgeny Malkin move back to center. You'll see Tommy Novak remain your second line center, and Ben Kendall might even see an elevated role. Face off for the second period of play between Sweden and the U.S. has dropped. And this centering pass here for the U.S., they were down in the Sweden zone looking from behind the net to send one out front. It goes all the way back down to U.S. territory. Sweden, though, on the forecheck back down at the U.S. end, they take over. Zibanejad to Gabe Landeskog. Shot from the point there from Broberg, didn't make it on net. Now Lucas Raymond with possession. Here's Broberg again. His shot. Hellebuck didn't see it. Trying to bank it in from the corner. Zibanejad almost was able to hit Hellebuck. Hellebuck unaware of where that puck was bouncing that time. Another interesting thing I saw during the break, you will not believe this, as Sweden ices the puck here 56 seconds into the period. I saw somewhere on Twitter, whoever the head coach is for Sweden, I forget his name. Maybe they'll pop him up right now because they're showing the Team USA coaching staff. 0 shifts, not a single second of ice time in the first period for either Jesper Bratt, who is just put back into the lineup, or Victor Hedman, who is only, one of the top defensemen in the world, probably the best defenseman at the height of his powers on this Sweden roster. So crazy. No Hedman spotted in the first period for Sweden. They might maybe be saving him for a closing role. Who knows here? Sweden back into the U.S. zone after the icing. Got Will Nylander circling behind the net. Up high, Gustav Forsling a shot, and that one went off a skate and went wide. Back out at center here, Brock Nelson trying to get a turnover here. Forsling will dump it in again for Sweden. Down low, Elias Pettersson centering one in front, goes through everyone. Picked up by Jake Gensel. Gensel, a soft lob in. Wouldn't mind seeing Jake Gensel get going here a little bit. I believe he had one goal in the preliminary rounds, but overall, it's been a very quiet tournament for number 59, who was one of the key U.S. players and goal scorers back at the Four Nations. Back into the Sweden zone here. Here comes the U.S. Shot from the corner. Dylan Larkin trying to go high short side on Markstrom, shut down. Now Jake Sanderson plays it over. Zach Werenski a dump in again. The U.S. backing on the forecheck. Larkin lets the puck go to Tage Thompson. Up high, Sanderson. Over. Werenski. Back over. Drive from Tage Thompson, and it is going to go off of Markstrom and into the netting. In terms of power on a slap shot, Tage Thompson, one of the top, maybe the top power shooter on this United States team. He let one rip there on a one-timer, but Markstrom sliding left to right made the stop. Back more to the comments here real quick. Christopher in here. Christopher De Leon, 4186. Happy Ash Wednesday. Happy Ash Wednesday to you. Eat lots of good fish out there. I know I have already and will continue here today. Kayla Lee in here. Welcome, Kayla. Has the game already started? Yes, it was a 3:10 puck drop local time here on the east coast of the United States. It was a 9:15, I believe, puck drop over there in Italy. The U.S. has only played 3:10 Eastern Standard Time games in this tournament. I'm going to wonder, when the hell are they ever going to get a 10:40 game or something like that for like Canada has, but haven't gotten a break yet. No, Mike Sullivan would love to have a night game. Another break in the action here. Jacob Markstrom a moment ago making another good save on a shot from Tage Thompson, clanked off of his face mask. 7:15 left to go here in the second period. Puck is going to be dumped down the ice here by the U.S. Another icing for them. Face-off will come back to the right of Connor Hellebuck. Looks like we have an explanation here, I guess, from Coach Sam Hallam of Team Sweden. Apparently, Victor Hedman dealing with an injury that he suffered in warmups. So, I mean, what was okay? So that's why we haven't seen Hedman. Play resumes here. Sweden is going at it here without their arguably top D man. Back behind his own net, Quinn Hughes plays it up the boards, picked up there, and a breakout pass, I think, from Dylan Larkin was wide of the mark, or it might have been Vincent Trocheck, excuse me. Now behind the net, Charlie McAvoy delivered a big hit on Eric Sinek earlier in the game. Joel getting a piece of McAvoy now. These two meet again in the corner. Battle there. Puck played up high by Pontus Holmberg. Dahlin. D to D with Broberg. Broberg spins it back down behind the U.S. net. McAvoy throws one up the boards in the skates of JT Miller. It bounces back to Quinn Hughes. Now off the glass and back down to Swedish ice. Broberg picks it up there, end of a shift. He's going to try to move his way forward here and get a dump in, and he'll chase after his own dump in. Hellebuck stopping it behind the net briefly there, but Quinn Hughes outmatched by Broberg. Up high, shot attempt there from Gabe Landeskog was blocked. Now in the corner, Alex Wenberg, pestered there by, I think, both Jack Eichel and Charlie McAvoy. Puck thrown down deep again. Eichel down low, tried to pick it up there. Now Landeskog with it. Backhander towards the front there, and oh my goodness! What a save there by Connor Hellebuck. Puck somehow went through traffic. And I believe it was Gabe Landeskog who sent it to the other side, and that might have been Willie Nylander that was robbed by Hellebuck. If I saw that right and the shot got off, what a save from number 37 in blue and red. Puck sent down to Swedish ice again, tapped in there, so no icing on the United States. Erik Karlsson behind his own net. Karlsson now up here to Broberg, bank pass for Zibanejad. Zibanejad tied up out at center by Noah Hannafin. Now trying to get a step coming forward. That might have been Matt Boldy. Hannafin up the boards here. Boldy trying to get it out of his own zone here. Fighting through Ricard Raquel. They are absolutely battling right now. Brady Tkachuk, end of a shift to Austin Matthews. He tried to enter the zone, but went off of the skates of Boldy, who was joining him. Dumped in here by the U.S. Boldy on the rush. Trying to let it go back to his D-man, but no defense was there to keep it in. Brock Faber here. Zach Werenski moving in. Dumped down deep by Boldy. Matthews lets it go. To Gensel. Drive from the point, and that hit Broberg in the foot, and he's limping right now. Matt Boldy now throws it to the front. Save made there by Markstrom. And Elias Pettersson, the skyward clear, back down to U.S. ice. Shots now in favor of Sweden for the first time today, 14-12. Dylan Larkin. Now Joel Eriksson next, circles behind his own net. Breakout here for Adrian Kempe. Now across the ice, Rasmus Dahlin trying to dump it into the U.S. zone. Hit the linesman, and it's going to be offsides here on Sweden. So maybe some assistance there from the linesman not moving for the United States. We're now going to take the first break, I guess, of the game here over to my right. Those of you who may be new in here after the first period of play, on your way in, please hit that subscribe button. Turn on notifications so that you never miss a thing here on the channel. Again, like this live stream, share this live stream in the comments section. Any thoughts, questions, opinions that you may have about this men's Olympic ice hockey, or if you are a Pittsburgh sports fan, if you have any inquiries about that, please let me know in the comment section. Now over an hour and 15 minutes into the live stream, live reactions and commentary to USA versus Sweden. Again, seeing more of this on Twitter right now. Team USA popularity showing out in Milan right now. You have, I believe, Snoop Dogg and Simone Biles, the big stars right there. Back in Pittsburgh here, seeing the Pittsburgh Penguins have another day of practice here today. Philip Hollander for the Pens returned to practice yesterday after dealing with a blood clot in his leg. After one practice with the Pens, he now sent to Wilkes-Barre Scranton on a conditioning loan, so his return timetable looking favorable right now. Game coming back on here to my right. 7 of you in here. Look at Charlie McAvoy and his defensive partners on the bench. McAvoy shedding the full face shield he had to begin the tournament. Face off just outside the U.S. zone. Thompson versus Wenberg, won by the United States with a little bit of help from Dylan Larkin. Now stretch pass here. Larkin now for Quinn Hughes across. Tage Thompson trying to bank it in, and Markstrom aware that Thompson was going to try that, able to keep the puck out of the net. Puck now all the way back down to the U.S. zone. Jake Slavin over to Brock Faber, cleared up the boards here, but kept in. Now down low, Holmberg. Pressed up against the boards there by Faber. Punched down low again by Wenberg. In front, Elias Lindholm, a shot might have gone off the stick of Faber. Not, that was a grade A opportunity for Elias Lindholm. Wrapped around again behind the net. Up high, Gustav Forsling, dumps it down low. Back up the boards towards Forsling, now chipped ahead by Thompson. Jack Hughes skating around, buying time for his team to get a change. Now Faber. Cross-ice pass. Here is coming into the Sweden zone, Austin Matthews. Dumps it behind the net. Jack Eichel. Excuse me, that's now Matthew Tkachuk out there. The Tkachuk and Eichel line coming back onto the ice. Noah Hannafin behind his own net after the Sweden dump in. Up the boards, Jack Eichel. Red line it in for him. Brady Tkachuk pins it up against the boards there for a moment, but Sweden quickly gets it back out to center. The United States regrouping again. Brady Tkachuk over the line now. Pass up high. Hannafin looking down low for Matthew Tkachuk. Matthew trying to play it back up the boards here to his brother Brady. Now puck going to be from the corner thrown towards the front of the net, but Markstrom has seen enough. He's going to cover it up here for a whistle. Another look at that chance a few moments ago for Lucas Raymond. Indeed, that puck did get through all of that traffic, and it was Raymond stopped by an excellent pad save for Connor Hellebuck. Maybe a little bit of elevation for Raymond would have helped him in that scoring opportunity, but couldn't get it off the ice. Face off down in the Swedish zone to the right of Markstrom. Possession taken by Sweden. Dump in by Rickard Rakell on the forecheck. Kempe hit on McAvoy. Now Hughes hit by Eriksson Ek. Now here we go. Up the ice, the United States. Maybe a chance for an odd man break. Bodie to Matthews in front. Oh, almost 5-hole. Not sure who that was. It might have been Jake Gensel. Shot from the point again for McAvoy. That goes wide, and now Willie Nylander trying to break one the other way. And this is going to be offsides here on Sweden. Now McAvoy and Joel Eriksson Ek, they're going to meet here against the boards after a late offside whistle. McAvoy trying to deliver a hit on Eriksson Ek. Now Adrian Kempe and Matt Bodie maybe exchanging a little bit of pleasantries. Another close chance to erase the goose egg on the board for either one of these teams. Jake Gensel, a nice sauce feed from Matt Bodie, and Austin Matthews out of midair knocked the puck along to help get that puck to Gensel. And Gensel, the 5-hole, he may have just missed it by an inch. The 5-hole was there for Jacob Markstrom, but Gensel just catching a piece of that top of the left pad for Markstrom. Play resumes. Elias Pettersson back in his own zone. Gives it to Rasmus Dahlin. Long stretch pass up to center ice here. Philip Forsberg. Back to Elias Pettersson catching up to the play. Now taken by Tage Thompson after Forsberg's pass was behind him. Puck is going to be chipped in here by the U.S. Markstrom back to play it. One of his current teammates with the New Jersey Devils, Jack Hughes on the attack. Rickard Rakell for Sweden. Now to Forsberg. Forsberg looking for Rakell, streaking towards the net. And now the puck comes back to Forsberg. He might have tried to wrap that puck around the net, but he lost his footing. Hellebuck's swimming a little bit in his blue paint a little bit there. Puck is going to be chipped out to center here by Larkin. It's going to be brought back in by Sweden. Zibanejad. Pass over here. Raymond a shot, and that one caught up high by Hellebuck. Is able to keep it out. Now a shot from the point here, long range. Hellebuck sees that one and squeezes it for the whistle with 10-10 left to go here in the second period. All of a sudden now Sweden counterpunching the United States here. Excellent chance there for Philip Forsberg. Denied again by Hellebuck, the Vezina winning goaltender in the NHL for the Winnipeg Jets. Looking now at Victor Hedman. They are showing him for the first time today, sitting right in the middle of the bench for Team Sweden. Not rotating in any of these defensive line shifts here for Sweden. Now Jack Eichel moving in, and Jacob Markstrom makes a save. Eichel making a nifty move on Oliver Ekman-Larsson, brought it to the front of the net and just couldn't pull the trigger until it was too late. Markstrom had the right angle all the way. Stretch pass up the ice here from his own zone. Werenski to Matthew Tkachuk, trying to dump it down low to his brother Brady, picked off by Sweden. Now Werenski gives it to Eichel, and Eichel comes back in. It's going to be offside. Brady Tkachuk could not get back out to the neutral zone quick enough. And now another commercial break here in the men's Olympic ice hockey quarterfinal game between Sweden and U.S. While they take a brief commercial, I will do the same. Stay where you are. More Olympic men's ice hockey quarterfinal action back here in a moment. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. The second half of the second period here between Sweden and the United States. About to happen right now. Take a look there. Austin Matthews back out there on the ice. He getting some criticism before the Olympics started, being named team captain of the United States. But I'll tell you what, he has been carrying the weight of the sea pretty well, producing for the United States in the preliminary round, and he nearly had a phenomenal assist on what would have been the game's first goal by Jake Gensel, but good save by Jacob Markstrom. Battle in the corner here behind Markstrom, just over his left shoulder. Puck now squirts up high to Quinn Hughes. Hughes spinning at the blue line. Now he flings one on net. Puck is loose in the high slot, and Matt Boldy there with the loose puck finds a shooting lane, and Markstrom makes the stop. 9:02 left to go now in the second period. Shots 17-16, now 18. They give Boldy credit with one there. 18-16 in favor of the United States. You had Eriksson Ek tying up Austin Matthews. Puck went off the chest of Markstrom and then nearly a tiebreaker there. Now Jack Hughes, a drive, they score! Off the face-off! Puck came up high to Charlie McAvoy, and then it was Jack Hughes, I believe, who drove it from the middle of the point. Dylan Larkin, he might have gotten a stick on it. It's 1-0 USA. They are showing Dylan Larkin like it's a goal for him. On the face-off, Larkin wins it back to the point. Jack Hughes retreats there. His slap shot past two Swedish defenders side by side at the top of the circle. And it's Dylan Larkin who scored big goals for Team USA back at the Four Nation face-off. Larkin, I think that's his first of the tournament. It's tipped in, and the U.S. taking a 1-0 lead with 8:45 left to go in the second. Back in, here comes Sweden, though, trying to answer. Save made by Connor Hellebuck on that long-range shot from Elias Lindholm. Back out through center here. Brock Faber trying to dump it in for the U.S. That puck ramps off of a stick and goes over the glass out of play. And again, a look here at the set play off the faceoff. Larkin is going to win it back to either Quinn Hughes or Charlie McAvoy. It's going to be one back to Quinn Hughes, and then Jack Hughes, who is lined up on the hash mark in front of the net. He retreats to the blue line, opens up for a one-timer, drives it, and Larkin off the faceoff goes right to the side of the cage, and he tips it in. The 20th shot of the game for the United States nets their first goal. Action back in the Sweden zone now. You got Brock Nelson who hits the deck there. Hampus Lindholm takes it down. Another shot from the point. That one might have gone off of Vincent Trocheck's stick, and it just went wide. Sweden now back up ice. Ricard Raquel, nifty move over the blue line. Flings one towards the front of the net, looking for Philip Forsberg. Chipped into the corner by Hellebuck. Now Trocheck again. Skies one into the Sweden zone, and looks like he'll head off on a change. Jacob Markstrom to Hampus Lindholm. The D-men here for Sweden playing catch in their own zone. Up the boards here, Gabe Landeskog trying to punch it in deep. Taken control of by the U.S. Another skyward flick into the Sweden zone. Quickly sent back out to center. Matthew Tkachuk pass up to the center here for Jack Eichel. Eichel over the blue line. Eichel trying to cut in again around behind the net. Up high. There's Hannafin. Over. Shot from Werenski, it looks like that was blocked, but Eichel was going to, almost kept it in the zone there. Intercepted or knocked down the breakout pass attempt. Now puck dump in here for the United States. Picked up Brady Tkachuk fighting towards the front of the net. Save made by Markstrom, and he'll cover it. And now we're going to have some action. Brady Tkachuk and Gabe Landeskog in front of the Sweden net. Matthew Tkachuk, he's tied up with someone there. No fancy move there at all for either of the Tkachuk brothers. Brady just simply, I'm going to go bull in a china shop and try to power my way to the front of the net here. Did get to the front and did get a shot off, but Markstrom there getting his body low to the ground, and then Brady a whack at the loose puck. Jacob Markstrom actually delivering a bit of a slash to the leg of Brady Tkachuk. And John Tortorella on the U.S. bench loving it. Drive from the point here again off the face-off for the U.S. Save made by Markstrom. Maybe a similar play to the one they just scored the goal on. That drive came from Charlie McAvoy. Another look at the list here for NBC showing the teammate ties currently of NHL players in this game. Shot from the point for Matt Boldy, knocked down by Eric Sinek. Pass over here. Looks like it's Adrian Kempe. He and McAvoy both hit the deck off a hit. Now another hit delivered. That might have been Matt Boldy who put someone on the ice. Austin Matthews sends one up out the center here. Philip Broberg takes it there. Pass intended for Eric Sinek off a United States stick. Quinn Hughes takes it. Hughes circling behind his own net. 6:15 left to go in the second. Hughes, stretch pass out the center. It's his brother Jack. Jack loses the handle on his stick handling. And it's a turnover again. Broberg across the red line and a dump in. Behind his own net. Hellebuck plays it along to Jacob Slavin. Slavin, top D-man for the Carolina Hurricanes. He now gets some help with the dump in. Lost his footing there. Rasmus Dahlin passed to the opposite blue line. And that was Elias Lindholm trying to feed one further for Holmberg. Wenberg behind the net. There's Jake Sanderson. Lost it there. The puck went inadvertently in front of his own cage. Dylan Larkin picked it up there. 5:30 now left to go in the second. Long dump in here by Sweden goes on net. Pass up here, tipped in by Jack Hughes. Brock Nelson on the forecheck. Hits Forsling in the corner. And now off the battle there, Nelson gets it. Up high, Hannafin dumps it down low. From the corner. Pass up high for JT Miller. Walking the blue line. Werenski is shot, and another trying to chip it on net there. Attempt for Trocheck. Wouldn't go. Raymond back the other way for Sweden. JT Miller now with it. Werenski bringing it up through center now with space. the Blue Jackets D-man. His shot trying to go far side on Markstrom. It's snared out of the air for another whistle. Nice back and forth action there. That time had a little period there without any whistle break. And they're going to take a commercial now on this game. It is Dylan Larkin from the Hughes brothers, Jack and Quinn, who has the first goal in this hockey game. Nice fired up moment there for Dylan Larkin. Probably the most, I would say, underappreciated superstar on this Team USA roster. And he is a 5-tool player. Dylan Larkin is skating, offensive production, his defensive work, I think, really, really good. Can kill penalties for you. You can put him out on the power play. Dylan Larkin can do it all here for Team USA. Assists to Jack and Quinn Hughes. 6 of you in here right now. Welcome to the live stream. On your way in, please hit that like and share button. Leave a comment in the comments section. Your thoughts on the game thus far. Subscribe to the channel. Turn on notifications so you never miss a thing here on the channel. Again, we'll be back to a normal schedule tomorrow. There will be a regular Steel City Sports Report tomorrow evening. I have planned. We'll talk about lots of things. We'll talk about Pittsburgh Pirates spring training and what all has gone down there over the last few days. Another good day for top prospect Connor Griffin hitting a moonshot home run in a live batting practice session. Also, we'll, of course, talk about the Sidney Crosby injury. Hopefully we get more information on that tonight. Maybe first thing tomorrow. Hoping that Crosby will be all right and that his imaging comes back nice and clean. Play about to resume here in this game. Jack Eichel going to take the face off against, I believe that was Zibanejad to the right of Markstrom. It was won by Zibanejad. Sweeting punches the puck out to center here. Quinn Hughes up the boards there. Brady Tkachuk trying to stick lift Oliver Ekman-Larsson and take it away. Eichel back in his own zone to McAvoy. Now Quinn Hughes looking for a pass. Hughes to Brady Tkachuk, and his tip-in attempt went off the United States curved glass there at the end of their bench for a stoppage. He and Oliver Ekman-Larsson getting tied up in front of the U.S. bench. Tell you what, if fighting wasn't a major penalty in the Olympics where you get a game misconduct on top of it, you would see a ton more fighting, especially from this Team USA group. Saw one fight so far in these Olympic Games. It was Pierre Crinan and Tom Wilson in the final preliminary round game, Canada versus France. I've not seen any fighting majors other than that one. Puck sent around the boards there by Jacob Markstrom, and now hard hit out in the neutral zone. Raquel takes a hit to make a play. Philip Forsberg back in. Tried to drop it for Erik Karlsson, but Karlsson too ahead of the play. Karlsson now dancing at the blue line, loses it, and now the puck ahead here for Jack Hughes. Hughes with speed, puts on the brakes, waiting for a trailer. Hughes trying to feed it to Austin Matthews off the bench, picked off by Pettersson. Now in the Swedish zone, Pettersson with it again. There was a hard hit delivered there to the back of one Austin Matthews. Sweden still trying to get out of their own zone. They finally go glassing out to center. Elias Pettersson the dump in. Back behind his own net, Slavin to his D partner Faber. Faber trying to give a breakout pass to Austin Matthews, couldn't connect. Now the puck finally reaches center, but Sweden with possession. Forsling, believe that went off the stick of Eriksson Ek. The United States retrieves in their own zone. Faber behind his cage, trying to whip it back the other way around behind the net, and it goes all the way back down to Sweden. Ice, no icing though. Dahlin up the boards, couldn't get it past Matt Boldy. Boldy up high, Slavin a shot through traffic, save made by Markstrom, rebound, and Austin Matthews tripped up a little bit in front, no penalty. Matthews trying to reach around the pad of Jacob Markstrom. I'm not sure if he got the shot off, but Markstrom standing tall in his crease. Zach Werenski now, pass up here, trying to thread the needle and get through. On goal there for Markstrom was Brock Nelson, and he's going to draw a penalty. It is going to be a trip, and Sweden is going to take their second penalty of the hockey game. You had Nelson catching a stretch pass. He tried to thread the needle between two defensemen. He went down. Hampus Lindholm, defenseman for the Boston Bruins, is going to sit in the box for 2 minutes for tripping. All started with the keep by Matt Boldy after a bad clearing attempt from Rasmus Dahlin. And then Nelson there. Yeah, I mean, you could have called it on Lindholm or whoever else was there. It might have been Ricard Raquel who tripped up Nelson as well. Pick one or the other. Definitely was a penalty. U.S. power play getting to work here. Quinn Hughes a shot. Puck went up and over the glass. Maybe Markstrom got a piece of it. Second chance in the hockey game for the U.S. power play. Nothing doing their first time around. Had a couple of shots, but no real structure to their attack. Jack Eichel here. He's stripped of the puck. Poke check from behind by Alex Wenberg. Cleared again by Sweden. Already half a minute expired on the power play. 1:55 remaining in the period. Back in. Matthews to Eichel. Back to Matthews in the corner. Now the puck thankfully comes up high to Quinn Hughes. He'll settle it down. To Eichel on the half wall. Down low looking for Matthew Tkachuk. Tkachuk now sends it back up to Quinn Hughes at the point. Now Matthews on the half wall. Matthews looking for something. Down low. Tkachuk in front for Thompson. Maybe looking for Eichel backdoor. It missed both of them. Eichel looking now. Centering pass here for Thompson. Trying to stuff it in. Couldn't do it. Matthews now back to Tkachuk. Thompson a shot. Save made by Markstrom. Puck is loose, but Markstrom finds it. Seems like the U.S., they keep trying to go for that pop play where they send it down to the goal line and then it immediately comes back out to the slot. Thompson there finally got a piece of the puck, and it was stopped by Markstrom. And then there was a rebound attempt there. Eichel had a good look at the net there, but then Markstrom, the puck was put right back into his glove. 45 seconds now left on the man advantage. Second unit on for the U.S. Werenski to Jack Hughes. Werenski again. His shot off the butt of Gabe Landeskog. Hughes back up to Werenski. Back to Jack Hughes. Hughes moving in. His shot up high on Markstrom. Rebound and stopped as well. Behind the net, Brady Tkachuk. But his pass picked off by Sweden. They get it back out to center, not the full 200. Landeskog and Zibanejad clogging up the neutral zone now. The U.S. trying to get back into the zone. 15 left on the power play. 45 in the period. Jack Hughes ringing it around behind the net. Comes up the wall now. Hughes circling up near the blue line. Hughes still with possession. Pass over for Gensel went off the stick of Landeskog. Down low. Brady Tkachuk. Penalty expired. Up high. Looks like might have been Matt Boldy trying to make a move at the blue line, picked off by Hampus Lindholm out of the box. He'll get it down in the U.S. zone and go off the ice. One last chance up ice now for the United States. Miller loses it to Broberg. Nelson keeping it at the line for a moment. Chipped out to center. 6 seconds left. Pinned up against the wall. Out at center. Sweden pushes it into the U.S. zone, but they will run out of time. And that is going to do it for the second period of play. The United States, again, failing to convert despite a good look or two on that power play attempt. And that is going to take it into the second intermission, 1-0 United States after 40 minutes. 9 of you in here right now. Welcome to the live stream. On your way in, please hit that subscribe button. Turn on notifications so that you never miss a thing on the channel again. Like, share, leave a comment on this live stream right now. Team USA, thanks to a deflection goal by Dylan Larkin, the difference maker right now. Other than that, and it took a deflection to finally get one behind the net, behind the netminders here. The two goalies have been outstanding. Markstrom, Hellebuck, as advertised. these two of the elite goaltenders in the NHL. Going to take another short break here for the second intermission. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back just before the start of the third period. The U.S. and Sweden battling to move on to the semifinals in the Italy Olympics. Back here after this intermission break. right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. 40 minutes in the books. A huge, long, and grinding 20 minutes left in the book between these two teams looking to fight to live another day in these 2026 Winter Olympics. Team USA with a 1-0 lead over Sweden right now. It was a deflection goal in front of the net from Detroit Red Wings captain Dylan Larkin. The assists to both of the Hughes brothers, Jack and Quinn. That takes us now to period 3, the slimmest of margins and leads in the hockey right now for the United States. The U.S. trying to win and move on. Should the U.S. hang on to this lead, they will go on to play, I believe, Slovakia in the semifinals. Canada, they would match up with Finland. Should Sweden make a comeback in this one, then they will take on Canada. And Finland and Slovakia, they will meet once again, just like they did in the very first game to kick off these 2026 Olympics. It's been a back and forth between both teams. Good chances for both squads. The goaltenders, they have been the main talking point so far in this game. Connor Hellebuck really doing his best impression of a brick wall for the United States. Jacob Markstrom playing out of his mind right now to keep Sweden in the game. He's stopping a handful of grade A opportunities. Some players on both squads, I think, that are playing really, really well today. Lucas Raymond for Sweden. He has been in on a few of these good chances for Sweden. No Victor Hedman, by the way, for Team Sweden, injured in the pregame warm-ups. So he has been on the bench all game long for Sweden. Jesper Bratt hasn't seen that much ice time for Sweden either. I think William Nylander has been a driver offensively for Team Sweden. And their fourth line, two of Alex Wemberg, Elias Lindholm, and Pontus Holmberg. That unit has hemmed the U.S. in their defensive zone a good bit. For the United States, Jack Hughes, again, moving really nice out there, skating-wise. It's been a good game thus far, I believe, for Quinn Hughes. Jack Eichel, he seems to be revving things up a little bit. Wouldn't be shocked if he gets a good opportunity at a goal here in the third period, but it's going to be tightly contested here. It's not like regular season hockey back in the NHL. These two teams, they do not get a point or anything like that should they go to overtime. These two teams are going to be playing to win and to move on to the semifinals, which will be on Friday. Puck about to be dropped for the third period of play. Here we go. The headline main event matchup of the day here. The final frame is underway. Mika Zibanejad wins the opening face-off of the period over Jack Eichel. The ensuing dump-in for Sweden must have hit off the curved glass or have gone off a stick and out of play. We already have a whistle, probably like 2 seconds into the period here. Another look at Connor Hellebuck's day on the screen right now. His biggest stop of the afternoon, a Gabe Landeskog cross the slot backhand pass to Raymond on the back door that Hellebuck was able to flash the pad and get a stop on it. Here comes Sweden the other way, tipped into the zone by Lucas Raymond. Hellebuck trying to play it to his defenseman McAvoy, but he was knocked down on the play. Back behind the net again. Zibanejad trying to spin out in front. Couldn't do it. Pass out to center here. Brady Tkachuk. Now to Quinn Hughes joining the rush. Hughes puts on the brakes just over the blue line. Down low to Brady Tkachuk. Circles behind the net. Now back for Jack Eichel. Eichel looking for some help. Back to Quinn Hughes now up high. Hughes exchanges spots with Noah Hannaf or Brock Faber, who just stepped on the ice. Thrown to the net by Hughes, and looks like Jacob Markstrom is going to find the rebound and get the cover 54 seconds into the period. Markstrom here, I guess, talking with the official, looking for maybe a penalty. Yeah, Jake Gensel and Jack Eichel, who went to the front of the net. Maybe a little bit of contact in the crease between Gensel and Markstrom, but the New Jersey Devils netminder able to find the loose puck. Quinn Hughes, that is now 4 shots in this hockey game for him. He has been an offensive driver for the U.S. 31 shots in favor of the United States, 19 for Switzerland, with 19:01 left to go in the third period. Face off to the left of the cage, won by Austin Matthews. Drive from up high was blocked by, it might have been Adrian Kempe who got a stick on it. Back to play it, Jacob Slavin to Brock Faber. Faber gets it out to center, but the puck hops over the stick of Matthews. Back in now, Jesper Bratt looking to make something happen here today. Stolen away from him as he tried to dangle on through. Austin Matthews, or excuse me, it might have been Matt Boldy. His dumping attempt didn't work. Back down behind the U.S. net. It's going to be an icing here on Sweden. They've tried a handful of those stretch passes up through the neutral zone today and haven't hit on too many of them. So another defensive zone face-off for Sweden. Markstrom has been really busy for the Swedes. Face-off to his right once again. Face-off is won cleanly by the United States. Not sure who took that draw, but he won it really cleanly to where it went all the way back down to his own zone. Markstrom behind his net. Pass up here to Philip Forsberg from behind his own net. It goes off of Forsberg's stick and into the Swedish bench. Philip Forsberg, I'd say one of the most underappreciated superstars in the National Hockey League, playing with the Nashville Predators. Not been a good season for the Preds. Jesper Bratt still out there as well for Sweden. One back to Oliver Ekman-Larsson off the face-off. Another throw up the glass here by Sweden, and that one took a Oddcarum towards the center of the ice. Puck dumped in by Sweden. Sanderson plays it up the wall. Now puck comes back in front of Hellebuck's crease, and it's chopped away towards the boards. From the corner, Zach Werenski. Sealed off from the puck by Forsberg. Wenberg up high. Ekman-Larsson. His shot from long range off the chest of Hellebuck. He makes the save. The rebound cleaned up there by Larkin, and he'll get it back out to center. There in the neutral zone might have been Clayton Keller fighting to get the puck deeper. Now Ekman-Larsson behind his net. Pass up the boards here. Bank pass. Played off now to Gabe Landeskog. Landeskog falls down. Now he's tripped up on the play, and it's going to be a penalty here. Looks like on Noah Hannafin. Or no, it's going to be Vincent Trocheck there. And that one, that one's a tough break there for Vinny Trocheck. Landeskog, as he enters into the zone, he first of all toe picks. He falls down on his own. And then as Trocheck goes to poke for the puck, it then takes out the skate of Landeskog, and the puck is right there next to Landeskog's skate. I mean, Trocheck, he hits the puck, he does his job, but just Landeskog, unfortunately, coming back to his feet, steps right on the stick blade of Trocheck. Now look, for the first time today at the Sweden power play, they get their first man advantage at 7:24 here in the third period. The U.S. 2 power play attempts in the game already did not convert on either. Now Sweden, a chance for them. Their personnel out there, it looks like Raymond, Eriksson Ek, Nylander, Kempe, and the D-man up there, looks like it's Rasmus Dahlin. Face-off won by Sweden. Dahlin to Nylander, down low. Raymond, back up high to Dahlin across the other side of the zone. Couldn't handle it. Eriksson Ek down low, chips it to Raymond. Back up high. Nylander now moving down the boards again. He stops. Nylander looking for something. Down to Raymond at the goal line. Raymond now circling up high at the face-off dot. To Nylander up near the blue line. Nylander down the boards, up high. Dahlin, one-time shot. Glove save made by Hellebuck and cleared the length of the ice. Keeping everything to the outside. A good job there by the United States. Back up ice comes Sweden again. 1:15 left on their power play. Over the blue line now. Sweden stripped of the puck. Dylan Larkin takes it away from Eriksson Ek. He banks it off the wall and down once more. 1 minute now left to go on the power play. 16:25 left to go in the hockey game. Erik Karlsson leading the second unit for Sweden onto the ice. He drops it to his Penguins teammate Raquel. Over the line, Landeskog Down low, Raquel. Now poked away from both of them. Dylan Larkin in the corner. Pinned down there. Wraps it around the boards. Kept in by Forsberg. Now pinned there by Nelson. Up high, Carlson. Pass across the blue line here to Zibanejad. Zibanejad to Raquel. Back out to Carlson. Walking to the right, Zibanejad. Forsberg back to Zibanejad. Looking for the return feed there. Goes off the skates of Dylan Larkin. Now Carlson off the stick of Larkin and out to center. And Larkin goes off for a change. Hell of a shift right there by 21 in blue and red. 2 clears and a blocked pass. Sweden now back in though. Carlson, Forsberg with time. A pass across for Zibanejad off the stick of Brock Faber. And out of play with 7 seconds remaining on the power play. Excellent stick positioning by the U.S. penalty kill. If you're ever a young hockey player out there looking to enhance what they do on the penalty kill, sticks in the passing lanes. The U.S. did that at least twice in the last 30 seconds there. And they got 2 breakups of one-time opportunities. Carlson from the blue line. His shot goes off of maybe his own man in wide. Penalty is over for the U.S. Trocheck back on the ice. Raymond trying to spin one forward. Picked off. Stayed on sides for the U.S. Now high slot. A shot from Faber went wide. In the corner. JT Miller battling for it. Vinny Trocheck down there as well. Comes loose. Carlson gonna airmail one all the way down to the U.S. zone here. Picked up by Quinn Hughes. Hughes now settling things down. Allowing his forwards to change. Looks like the Matthews line is on. Hughes. Bank pass out to center off to Matthews. Red line and in. Goes all the way around the glass. Boldy down the boards. Pokes it back up high. Matthews. Down low again. There's Jake Gensel. Nice move there. Up high. Hannafin to Gensel. Hannafin, middle of the blue line. His shot went wide. Rebound comes out to Boldy. And oh my goodness, it went through the 5-hole of Markstrom. Might have gone off the side of the net, and he closes his legs together for the stoppage. Hannafin's shot goes wide. It went just through the legs of Markstrom. Where did it go? And oh my goodness, it just caught enough of the inside of his pad to stop the progression towards the goal line. That close to a 2-0 USA lead. Face off to the right. Zibanejad and Eichel. Eichel wins it. Up high, Werenski. Across. Walking in. Hughes. Stops. Spin move. Now trying to feed Werenski again, but Zibanejad gets his stick in there. Now here comes Landeskog the other way. Zibanejad across. Forsberg. Backdoor. Ekman Larsson didn't look like he was in a position to get a stick on it. 14 minutes now remaining in the game. Cycling through the neutral zone here, Sweden. Chipped into the zone by Landeskog. Werenski trying to clear it up the board. Zibanejad knocked it down a little bit. Now looks like Matthew Tkachuk there helped it along. Some Swedish players changing here. Erik Karlsson in his own zone. Gives it to Raquel flying up the boards. Raquel trying to feed Pontus Holmberg. Pass out in front of him. It's a turnover to the U.S. Hannafin. Stretch pass here. It's going to be all the way down to Sweden territory for an icing. Unable to get a stick on it. Was anyone out there for the U.S.? 13-24. Shots 32-22 in favor of the U.S. They applying the latest pressure on Sweden. There's been a good back and forth here. Momentum swings for each of these squads, but the U.S. still with the 1-0 lead. They just showed Victor Hedman again for Sweden. No shifts in the game for Hedman, injured in the warm-ups. Sweden wins the face-off. Dahlin, a shot from the point, and a carom off the boards came back out in front. Raymond and Eriksson Ek were hacking away at it. It's gobbled up by Hellebuck, and now behind the net, it's like Eriksson Ek. Looks like he might have taken a bad tumble into the boards, or maybe Lucas Raymond, who came in behind him, landed on him. He's hunched over here, gliding towards Sweden's bench. Huh. Wonder if Eriksson Ek will be good to go. Showing more fans in the crowd here supporting Team USA. The Hughes family supporting Quinn and Jack. Anthony Rizzo, longtime MLB player. I believe he may be retired now. Simone Biles, Jonathan Owens. Owens in the NFL. George Kittle, Christian McCaffrey there as well. Keith Kachuk supporting his two boys in these Olympics. Must be a crazy dynamic for them. Matthew, Brady growing up watching their dad in the Olympics. Now, dad, the one doing the sitting in the stands. It's like also Dylan Larkin is mic'd up for this game today for the U.S. Wonder how he reacted to scoring his goal. Maybe they'll show it here. Doesn't look like it. Also noticing throughout these Olympic Games thus far, the neck guards being worn a ton by the U.S. There's Dylan Larkin reacting mic'd up to his goal. For those of you who may be new in here, welcome to the live stream. On your way in, please hit that like button. Share this live stream. Leave a comment in the comments section. Subscribe and turn on notifications. Play about to resume here. To the right, it's going to be an offensive zone face-off for Sweden to the right of Hellebuck. Landeskog on the draw. They'll go against Trocheck, and it's won by Trocheck. The penalty drawer and the penalty taker on that battle. Now a war up against the boards here for the biscuit. Taken there by Zibanejad. Over to Carlson. Carlson shot. Blocked off there by Matt Boldy. Or JT Miller, excuse me. And Miller trying to streak the other way. Chased by his New York Rangers teammate Zibanejad. And now he goes down. No penalty called. Raymond just took an absolutely heavy hit again. Charlie Truck McAvoy with a big hit. Raymond comes back, though. His shot attempt pickpocketed by Trocheck. Action starting to pick up. We're going to see more back and forth here. More aggressiveness from both of these teams. Boldy chipping it out to center there. Trying to feed it along into the zone. Austin Matthews was tied up. Back in comes Sweden. Bratt down low. Behind the net, Nylander. Back up high. Drive from the point. Forsling blocked on the way through. Looks like Matthews got in front of it. Now Bratt up near the blue line. Dumps it back down low. Nylander centering pass. Broberg fanned on it. And now Boldy unable to poke it out of the zone. Looks like Gensel's still out there for the U.S. Boldy again. He gets it out to center now. Gensel's going to try to hustle his way off the ice. U.S. fire sale change. Puck dumped in by Sweden. Behind the net. Sanderson gives it to, looks like that was Matthews who got it out of the zone. Now back in Sweden. Forsberg. Ekman Larsson. His shot off a skate. And it bounces back out to center. Hampus Lindholm back in his own zone, picks it up. Gives it to his D partner. Stretch pass again for Sweden. Off the mark, picked off by the U.S. Quick up here, Brady Tkachuk. If he's able to catch that cleanly, he might be on a breakaway. The Swedish defense in the middle of a change there. U.S. still with possession in the zone now. Quinn Hughes walking to Werenski down, and Werenski short side hit off the netting, off the side of the cage. Now back up high. Quinn Hughes again. Already working on at least 4 shots in this hockey game. Now Jack Hughes moving in. Jack Hughes behind the net. Circling in front. Pops up in the air and kept in again by Quinn Hughes. Across. Werenski. To Jack Hughes. Werenski. His shot from the middle of the point. Hit a body. It was Kempe with the block. Dumped in now by Wenberg. He'll go and change. Jack Hughes. to Tage Thompson. Thompson trying to backhand airmail it out. Was knocked down by Broberg. Now Jack Hughes out at center. Couldn't feed it to Larkin. Landeskog brings it back in for Sweden. Behind the net, Thompson to Quinn Hughes. Stretch pass. Tipped in by Larkin. And he'll now forecheck. Behind the net, Dahlin. Up Broberg. Cross ice, Zibanejad. Zibanejad in with room. Shot on goal. Pat saved by Hellebuck. Centering pass, nobody home. And it goes all the way back down to Markstrom. He'll play it up to Dahlin. Another change for Sweden. Forsling. He'll now motor ahead. Try to backhand pass for Nylander, picked off. Boldy now with it for the U.S. takes it into the zone. Tried to get it to Gensel, but was edged off by Eriksson Ek. Now here, looks like it's Bratt. Eriksson Ek a shot, and that went wide. Gensel sidesteps a check. Now here's Gensel. He's got Matthews to Matthews, and it went through his legs. Had to maybe reach back for it. Couldn't get the shot away. Matthews up high. Faber to Gensel, flinging it towards the net wide. Sanderson with it. He'll move down the boards here. Throwing it on net. Where's the puck? Ooh! I think Markstrom either thought that he had it or that it went out of play. He froze for a moment, and then he pounced on the rebound. It'll be an offensive zone face-off for the United States. And we continue this action-packed third period. 8:58 left to go. And Sweden emptying the bag, activating their defensemen in the rush, trying to stretch things out with long passes. The U.S. holding firm for the time being. Can they finish the job? Little under 9 miles left to go. See, is there anything going on? Do we have any other injury updates before we wrap up this game? Looks like here don't have any other new things on Sidney Crosby and his injury quite yet. See some more stuff from Pittsburgh Pirates here today in their spring training. We'll get to that tomorrow. Game back on to my right here. Matt Boldy on the bench getting his helmet adjusted for Team USA. One of a whole hell of a lot of Minnesota Wild represented in this game right now. You got, I think, 3 Wild players on each side, plus Bill Guerin and John Hines, the GM and head coach of the Wild, also a coach and GM for Team USA. Broberg now gives it here. Landeskog, slap shot, pad save by Hellebuck. Puck knocked down at the blue line by Erik Karlsson. He could almost keep it in the zone, but it's finally fought out to the neutral zone by Brady Tkachuk. Jack Eichel chasing after Karlsson now. He scurries behind his own net, and now Sweden regroups. Landeskog dumps it in. Hard wraparound. Kicked lower by Eichel to his D-man, McAvoy. Now Jake Gensel to Eichel. Cross-ice pass, Quinn Hughes. Hughes. A little soft chip in there, or at least tried to. Picked off by Zibanejad. Raymond gives it to a streaking Broberg. Broberg in. Circles behind the net. Now puck poked away from him. Not sure he's the guy you want to come in 1-on-4 for Sweden. Pass up here to the neutral zone. Jake Gensel got knocked down by Rasmus Dahlin. Bouncing puck. Matthews to Brady Tkachuk. Tkachuk now, or excuse me, that's Tage Thompson. I saw a 7, didn't see the 2. Thompson in the corner. Gives a whack to his Buffalo teammate, Dahlin. Forsling up now. Dahlin out at center. Jesper Bratt with it. Dumps it in. Hard around the glass. Nylander couldn't get to it. Back out at center, Dahlin. Bratt chipping it along for Eriksson Ek, who chips it along further. Werenski with possession now. Nylander down in front of the net, all alone, Eriksson Ek, and what a play by Jacob Slavin! You had two Sweden players down in front of Connor Hellebuck. I'm not sure. Hellebuck might have poke-checked it away from Nylander, and then Slavin, from his back, swings his stick around and knocks the puck away from the danger of Adrian Kempe. Action back down in the Sweden zone now, but they're going to break it back up ice again. Or at least I thought they were going to. Off the stick of Ekman Larsson. On the forecheck there. Brock Nelson down deep. Now Hampus Lindholm, a breakout here for Philip Forsberg. Here comes Wenberg. His shot off of a body and wide. Hellebuck plays it into the corner. Vinny Trocheck gets it off the glass and out to center. 6 minutes, 30 seconds remaining in this hockey game. Ekman Larsson. Pass to Raymond, and oh my goodness, Raymond. He's lucky that Matthew Tkachuk only went for the puck because he could have railroaded him if he wanted to. Puck chipped back up to the U.S. zone here. Quinn Hughes shields away from Landeskog. McAvoy trying to get it out, could not. Now Raymond. Quinn Hughes wraps it around behind. There's Matthew Tkachuk back to Hughes, and then McAvoy. Up the boards out to center. Brady Tkachuk trying to fight through the check of Philip Broberg. He does. Tkachuk stopping, spinning one towards the front of the net, and it went wide. Nice show of strength there from Brady Tkachuk, just didn't result in a shot on goal. Slavin in the corner, punches it up the wall. Chipped out to center there by, I believe that was Boldy. Now again, Slavin sends it up ice, but Gensel could not touch it. It's going to be an icing on the U.S. An offensive zone face-off for Sweden. 5:32 left to go here in the third period. Another look here at the chance a moment ago for Sweden. You had Nylander spinning it to Joel Eriksson Ek in front of the net. It was a poke check from Hellebuck that stopped him, and then the puck was sitting there waiting for Philip Forsberg to get a crack at it, and Slavin knocked it away. Play resumes. Erik Karlsson up high to Jesper Bratt. Now here's Dahlin moving in. His shot way out on top of his crease. Hellebuck makes the stop, and he finds the loose puck for the cover. Some more precise offensive zone passing there for Sweden, and another great shot opportunity for Rasmus Dahlin. He and Jack Hughes, they got to be competing for shot attempts today by defensemen, but neither of them have been able to find twine. Another break here, maybe the last break of this hockey game for these two squads. Getting a flashback here to the 2006 men's Olympics, the preliminary round. There you got to look at the difference maker in this hockey game. Dylan Larkin, a second period deflection goal for him. Also had an outstanding penalty kill earlier this period. And now he and his goal stand between the U.S. and a date with Slovakia on Friday. Another look at the bracket right now. We know Finland right now, they are on the schedule for Canada. Slovakia awaiting the United States maybe. If Sweden is able to make a comeback, then Sweden will face Canada, and Finland will do battle with Slovakia. A rematch of the very first preliminary round game in these Winter Olympics. Teams reseed after the quarterfinals. A look here. If it hasn't been obvious, Mike Sullivan doing what he always does in tight games, shortening his bench. I've seen a ton of the Eichel and Tkachuk brothers line. We've seen a ton of the Austin Matthews and Dylan Larkin line. You'll probably see here trying to defend this lead. A ton of Vincent Trocheck, JT Miller down in the defensive zone here. Clayton Keller, he hasn't been spotted in a while. We'll see how the U.S. deploys their talent here to stop everything Sweden is going to throw their way in the last 5 minutes and 15 seconds. Play resumed there for a moment. Puck came up the boards to Brock Nelson, but he and Rasmus Dahlin met, and the puck went into the U.S. bench. There's a look at a rare pro-Sweden celebrity in the crowd. You got, with the headset on, up in the booth somewhere for one of the alternate broadcasts, Henrik Lundqvist. Went off the face-off. A drive from Dahlin was blocked, and it bounced all the way back out to the Sweden zone. Erik Karlsson behind his own net. 5 minutes now left to go in the hockey game. Sweden going to push the pace now. Got to wonder, maybe in a couple minutes here, if they will bring Jacob Markstrom off the ice. Dumped in by Dahlin. Back to play it up the boards. Faber. Brady Tkachuk now has it. He's got his brother Matthew with him. Dumped in by Brady. Matthew going to go chase. He's going to meet Dahlin down low. Matthew getting it up high, punched back down deep again. Brady, puck hopped over his stick. Hampus Lindholm off the glass and out. Hard check by Eichel on Kempe. Now steered back ahead. Matthew Tkachuk chasing after it, but Markstrom is going to play it away and make sure Tkachuk doesn't catch it. Lucas Raymond, dump in from the red line, all the way around. Landeskog with it, captain of Team Sweden. His pass intended for Hampus Lindholm was picked off for a moment by Boldy. Now out at center, Sweden regains possession. Dump in by Zibanejad. Hellebuck shoots it up the boards. Step in by Lindholm, kept it in for a moment. Now breakout pass, Jake Gensel. Soft chip in. He'll chase after it. Broberg. Now to Landeskog. Raymond, cross-ice pass. Now another cross-ice pass here. It's Erik Karlsson on the rush. Karlsson, spinning backhander, wouldn't go through. And now a turning shot, and it went off of the blocker of Hellebuck into the glass. Dangerous opportunity there for Karlsson. Puck comes up high to Forsling, across Karlsson. Trying to throw one to the net, went off the stick of Bratt into the corner. Brock Nelson now chipping it ahead. 3:25 remaining. JT Miller skating after it. Miller gets hit hard and down to the ice by Forsling. Puck still behind the Sweden goal line, but now they take possession of it definitively. Forsling and Erik Karlsson, Sweden, going to go for a change here. We're now about to go under 3 minutes, and now's the time where we look for Jacob Markstrom. Here's Zibanejad up ice. Dumped behind the net. Landeskog had his stick lifted for a moment by Slavin. Landeskog with it again. Now puck comes to the center of the U.S. zone. Eichel will chip it out to center. Broberg with it. Across the red line. Broberg feed. Looks like that's Dahlin. Dahlin inside-outside move on Slavin. And now he's dumped in the corner by Brady. And oh my goodness, Dahlin is slow to get up. No penalty called. Kempe. Looks like the puck might have hit the post there. I was focused on Dahlin in the corner, who appeared to be shaken up. Kempe's shot went off the pipe. 2:15 left to go now in the game. Looks like Markstrom getting ready to take off. Karlsson plays it. Slapped in by Nylander. Quinn Hughes up the boards. Goes past everyone and out to center. Hampus Lindholm now spinning it for open ice. Picked off by Gensel. Gensel lays it in softly. Markstrom out to stop it again. Karlsson now, 1:50 left to go. Still no sign yet for Markstrom to go to the bench. Nylander across the blue line and in. Wraps it around behind the net. There Miller waits for it. JT Miller now punches it up. Kept alive by Raymond at the blue line. Coming across now. Raymond, top of the circle. Over. Drive by Zibanejad and they score! With 1:31 and the empty net just occurring, Sweden just tied the game. Are you kidding me? They have tried that exact play all game long, especially on their power play. That cross-zone one-timer to Zibanejad. This time it finally went through clean. And Zibanejad with the game-tying score. Unbelievable. Another look at Rasmus Dahlin. Nearly wouldn't mind if he got tested in the concussion protocol after this. Another look at that hit. Did not look any better, but he stayed out there. He fought through it. And Mika Zibanejad of the New York Rangers, playing against his coach right now for the Rangers, gets the game-tying goal with 1:31 left. Play resumes. Assists to Raymond and Landeskog. Puck goes past everyone here back down to the U.S. zone. Is going to be an icing on the United States. 1:15 left to go in regulation. And now we, all of a sudden, are on pace for the third time in the 4 quarterfinal games today. We could be going to a 10-minute 3-on-3 overtime. Another look at the Zibanejad goal by the narrowest of openings. Just squeezed right in between the pad and the post on Hellebuyck. Shot attempt off the face-off for Matthew Tkachuk went wide. Tkachuk again! Another drive on net save by Markstrom. Now Forsberg. Pursuing Eichel. Now Faber. Plays it up here. Chipped in by Matthew Tkachuk. Stopped behind the net by Markstrom. Up the boards. Back out to center now. The U.S. went for a change. Stepping in, Charlie McAvoy. McAvoy to Matthew Tkachuk. Brady, high slot. His shot went high and wide. 40 seconds remaining, and that is where the clock is going to stop as the puck looks like it hit the dasher, went up into the netting and out of play. 40.7 seconds to be exact. Sweden just tying the game less than a minute ago with Mika Zibanejad. It took 29 shots in this hockey game for Sweden to get one by Connor Hellebuyck. Face off to the right of the Swedish net. Matthews. Eriksson Ek on the draw. Won by Matthews, but unable to get it back to the point. It's one taken over by Nylander. Chips it in. Hellebuyck stopping it there for McAvoy. Up the boards, McAvoy for Boldy. Off the skates of Nylander in the neutral zone. Boldy now will dump it in. 20 seconds left. Markstrom looking to play it up the wall here. Jake Gensel sealed off from the puck. Spinning one on net, Boldy. He had Matthews backdoor, couldn't go. Now high slot. Werenski is shot wide. It goes wide of the net and all the way back out to the neutral zone. 7 seconds left. Maybe one chance for the U.S. It's tipped in. Lindholm is going to pin it against the boards. 1 second and none, and we are heading to a 3-on-3 overtime for the third time today in these Olympic quarterfinal games. Holy hell. This may be, with no exaggeration, the best day in terms of all the games we've seen in Olympic ice hockey history. Every game entertaining. Only one was a blowout. That was the first one, 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Nobody was really up to watch that one in full, but every single game, from Canada, Czechia, to Finland, Switzerland, now to the U.S. and Sweden, every game, a barn burner that will not be decided 5-on-5. It will be decided maybe 3-on-3. There's still a chance that we get to a shootout. Have not seen that today. We had 2 overtime games. Both were ended very early, by the way. I believe the Canada Czechia game, that one was ended by Mitch Marner only a couple minutes in. And I want to say the Finland Switzerland game, that might have been ended only a minute or so into overtime. So do not rule out the chance that this one gets decided very quickly right here. 3-on-3 overtime, very exciting and action-packed nonstop in the NHL. Now double that period span, and we could be in for some entertainment with all the skill on the ice between these two teams. Will be interesting to see how each of these coaches deploy their troops, what 3 warriors they pick for each of their squads. Looks like Eriksson Ek is going to start out there with Sweden, waiting to see who's out there with him. Looks like Zach Werenski is going to be one of the guys for the United States. Or no, Werenski on the bench now. Jack Eichel and Vinny Trocheck are going to be on the ice here for the U.S. That's a classic Mike Sullivan move right there. Put 2 centers out on the ice, 1 offensive centerman, 1 defensive centerman. I want to bet Trocheck takes the opening draw here, and should he win it, he'll immediately head to the bench for a different player. Here we go. 3-on-3, 10-minute overtime. Hellebuck and Markstrom, the 2 goaltenders, they've been phenomenal, but one of them has to surrender 1 more goal. Here we go in overtime. Waiting to see. It'll be Trocheck and Eriksson Ek on the draw. Forsling and Nylander out there for Sweden. It's won by Eriksson Ek. Eichel and I believe Trocheck now went off for the U.S. Jake Gensel hopping onto the ice. It's going to be brought up the ice here with speed by Jesper Bratt. Slamming on the brakes. Quinn Hughes, the D-man out there for the U.S. Forsling now cycling. He'll be forced back out to center with it. Forsling back to Nylander. And Nylander with room. He'll get over the blue line now, waiting for a pass to open up. He'll spin back towards the point. Nylander now with space. Quinn Hughes trying to nudge him off the puck. Great job by Hughes and great job by Eichel to separate him from puck. Now the U.S. with a possession. Eichel. Drop. Gensel in. Shot from Gensel. Right into the breadbasket of Markstrom. And it'll be stopped for a whistle. 9-12 in the OT period. 10 of you in here right now. Welcome for live commentary and reactions. The 3rd game in the Olympic quarterfinals men's ice hockey tournament going to overtime today. I assume full changes for both sides. Face-off will be to the right of, or to the left of Markstrom. It'll be Vinny Trocheck again on the draw. Austin Matthews and Werenski out there with him. Eriksson Ek again in the dot as well with Raymond and Broberg. Won by Trocheck. Matthews sends it back up high to Werenski. It goes out of the zone, but that's all right. Trocheck comes off. Onto the ice now. It'll be Matt Boldy. Werenski brings it into the zone, though. Up high, Matthews. With time, Matthews a shot. Pad save by Markstrom. Kicks it out to his teammate, Adrian Kempe. Erik Karlsson steps on. Karlsson now skates it up ice across the red line and the blue. Karlsson looking up high, and I believe that was Raymond who stopped the puck but went down. Kempe now behind the net. Waiting for an option to open up. Kempe drop for Raymond. He'll now spin back towards the blue line. And now he'll take it all the way back out to center here. Karlsson will take it all the way back down to his zone. Kempe heads off for Sweden. I think 2 or 3 players for the United States got off. Changes for both squads. Zibanejad now on for Sweden. Looks like Philip Forsberg is too. Here's Zibanejad. He scored the tying goal. Can he get the game winner? 1-on-1 with Jack Hughes. Hughes forces him behind the net. Out of the corner now. Forsberg with it. Circling up high. Forsberg trying to power his way on. Great stick from Larkin. And now the U.S. a chance to rush the other way. Larkin. Dropper. Jack Hughes in. Hughes a shot. Again, another save by Markstrom. Puck did not get past him. It looked like Philip Broberg out there acted like it got by him. Was not into the glove of Markstrom. He pinned it between his left arm and his body for the stoppage. Another opportunity for the U.S., a shot from the high slot. First it was Gensel, next it was Jack Hughes. Both of them right into the chest area of Markstrom. Face off to the right of the Swedish net. Larkin against Eriksson Ek on the draw. Point man for the U.S. is Hughes. Eichel in front of the net. Larkin wins it. Eichel helps it back to Hughes. Nylander, and it looks like Forsling out there for Sweden. Eichel Now, one-timer for Eichel and a save made by Markstrom. Eichel with Forsling all over him. Keeps it in the zone. Eichel. Now he's going to drop it for Quinn Hughes. Hughes spins away off the boards. With time, high slot. Quinn Hughes in. Doesn't get a shot away. Pressured by Eriksson Ek. A backhander from Quinn. Stopped by Markstrom. And he'll hang on for a face-off. 7:20 remaining in the overtime period. Oh my goodness. That was the 39th shot of the hockey game for the United States. Sweden at 29. Another draw to the right of Markstrom. Matthews will take the draw against Zibanejad. Tie up off the draw. Zibanejad gets it back to Erik Karlsson. Now EK65 with taking his time in his own zone. Drops it here for Lucas Raymond. He's come close to a couple of goals in this game. Raymond over. One-time attempt from Gabe Landeskog. Fanned on it. And it's a turnover to Matthews. Now Quinn Hughes. Stretch pass up ice. Matt Boldy. Boldy puts on the brakes. Waiting for some help. He'll peel it back out to center now. Quinn Hughes getting an extended shift right here. And he started the overtime period. Down the boards in the Sweden zone. Up high. Boldy as the D-man right now. Back to Hughes up high. Hughes circles. Now with time, a shot. He scores! Quinn Hughes ends it in overtime. The haunted one is going to send the U.S. to the semifinals against Czechia. Quinn Hughes. He has been an offensive driver all game long for the United States. He assisted on the Dylan Larkin goal. And now he wins it for the United States. Spinning, dipping, dodging, twisting his way open in the high slot. And he beats Markstrom glove side, post, and in. Quinn Hughes, one of the most dynamic defensemen in the National Hockey League, scores maybe the biggest goal in his still young professional hockey career. And the United States has a date Friday with Czechia. It'll be Canada versus Finland on the other matchup. The United States stepping that much closer to their first Olympic gold since 1980. Another look. Boldy, the give and go with Hughes. Hughes circling from the top of the circle. The old skate left, shoot right for the haunted one. The ghost. Hopefully they're nice to him tonight. What a shot for Hughes. A topsy-turvy season for him back in the NHL. Gets traded from Vancouver to Minnesota. Was a slam dunk choice to put on the USA roster for his general manager, Bill Guerin. And here in the quarterfinals, he scores the game winner. And the United States is moving on. Reactions in the comment section. Biggest goal for the USA in helping the Penguins at the same time, says Dowdy. You called it. You called it, Thomas. You wanted Erik Karlsson and Rickard Rakell to stay healthy, go home, don't play any more hockey, get rested up a little bit. They will get to do that now. They'll be on a flight, maybe even with Artur Shilovs. He got eliminated yesterday. Wonder if he's still there. But wow. Huge goal for Quinn Hughes. The Hughes brothers playing a massive role in this game here today. Jack, the primary assist on the Dylan Larkin goal. Quinn a secondary assist on that, and then Quinn gets the game winner in overtime. Now we know the official setup. Canada, the 1 seed versus Finland, the 4 seed. That game will be at 10:40 puck drop on Friday. Team USA against Czechia at 3:10 on Friday as well. And then the gold medal game will be Sunday morning at 8:10. Team USA stays on the ice. They salute the heavily USA crowded audience there in Milano Cortina. And that is going to end it. What a game. What a day of quarterfinal Olympic hockey. That might have been one of the best days of hockey I've watched in a long time. That's going to do it here as well. I want to thank you all for joining me here tonight. On your way out, please hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications so that you never miss a thing. We'll be back here on Friday for USA Czechia. So make sure you turn on notifications so when you know when we're live for that. Like this live stream, share this live stream, leave a comment, your reactions to this game after the fact as well. And go give the channel a follow at Steel City SR on Facebook, Instagram, and X. We'll see you back here tomorrow night around this time for a new edition of the Steel City Sports Report. Back here on Friday, USA versus Czechia in the semifinals. And then by then, we'll know who is on to play for the gold medal. See you guys back here then. Team USA victors, thanks to Quinn Hughes. Let me actually pop up the final here. Forgot to change it for USA. 2-1, the final score. Sweden falling to USA 2-1. Quinn Hughes, the game winner. See you guys back here on Friday. USA versus Czechia. Peace. What a night.